Now we start from the Middle East. U.S. Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff is heading to Egypt to join crucial talks aimed at ending the Gaza war. The White House has expressed optimism about a potential deal, with President Donald Trump noting progress in negotiations, citing Hamas's agreement on key issues. Jared Kushner, the former Middle East advisor, is also expected to join the discussions, signaling continued high-level involvement in the talks. Meanwhile, Qatar cautions that it's too early to be either optimistic or pessimistic about this outcome. Hamas has expressed its commitment to overcoming obstacles in implementing the U.S. peace plan aimed at ending the war. Meanwhile, the UN chief has called for the immediate release of hostages from the October 7, 2023 attack and for an end to the fighting in Gaza. While German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul has said that he sees willingness on all sides to implement the plan of U.S. President Donald Trump to stop the Gaza war. Let's in fact listen into the German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul's comments.
Ich bleibe zuversichtlich, das haben mir alle Gespräche bisher gezeigt, sowohl diejenigen, die ich in Katar geführt habe, als auch in Kuwait, gestern in Tel Aviv und heute in Kairo. Alle Beteiligten haben den festen Willen, diesen Friedensplan Schritt für Schritt umzusetzen, und wir sind jetzt bei Phase 1. Wir beide haben es ja gerade eben erwähnt, wir haben uns auch nochmal mit der amerikanischen Seite, mit Steve Witkoff, abgestimmt. Aber die Details müssen jetzt in aller Ruhe und ehrlich gesagt auch in Vertraulichkeit miteinander besprochen.
Now for this discussion, we're joined by Adrian Calamel. He's a terrorism scholar, joins us live from New York. Thank you very much, Adrian, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at this news, how significant is U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff and U.S.'s involvement in these peace talks, and President Donald Trump pushing for the Gaza war to end?
Thank you for having me on the show, and good evening to your viewers, and good to see you again, Asuma. As far as sending Steve Witkoff goes, I think this is, let me back up. We've seen Trump put out a bunch of ultimatums to Hamas. There's been multiple ones where he's used the language that, you know, the gates of hell are going to open and whatnot. And we just haven't seen that. But what we're seeing right now is he put forward a tangible plan, a 20-point plan here that he expects Hamas to agree to. Now, if you look at that 20-point plan, especially when you get down into the later details and the fine details, what this basically amounts to is Hamas surrender, Hamas complete surrender, a safety corridor for them to get out of Gaza, to replace Gaza's infrastructure, its governance, its law and order mechanisms with something that has no association with Hamas. So, you know, Hamas is weighing in their minds right now, I would say, is, you know, do we take this? Do we regroup and pivot somewhere else? Do we go to Qatar, or do we go to, you know, Qatar and then slip back into the West Bank, or do we take this deal? Witkoff is going to be there, as well as Jared Kushner, as was mentioned. You know, they have a pretty good relationship with Qatar, and it goes along business lines. So my expectation is that they're there to hear what the Qataris have to say. Also, probably put some pressure on Qatar as well as Hamas and say, you know, Trump's serious about this. This needs to be done. It needs to be done quickly. If the demands are too far-reaching and it's shown that Hamas is not serious about these negotiations, then the war will continue, and there will be a military outcome to this.
And given this Qatar's cautious stance, what do you think are the major obstacles to reaching a peace deal, and how realistic is the optimism coming from the White House?
Well, the optimism coming from the White House, I think it does have a fair deal of realism to it. Now, with Qatar, if you look at Qatar, we have to remember that they are the main financial backer for Hamas. They also, along with the Islamic Republic of Iran, the fate of the hostages may not just rest in the hands of Qatar. It may rest in the hands of the Islamic Republic. We're looking at not just Hamas versus Israel. We're looking at multiple actors against Israel. It also Qatar, we all look at them as a benign, benevolent actor in the Middle East. The truth is they are a Muslim Brotherhood nation, and Hamas is probably their most successful proxy that they have. So do they have the ability to put pressure on Hamas? I believe they do. Will they put the pressure on Hamas to say, give up Gaza, pivot, go somewhere else, and we'll start working towards the end of trying to destroy Israel from another direction? Maybe that's the message that Qatar sends. But really, it does rest in Qatar's hands. We have to look where their senior leadership was. So.
Yes, indeed. Adrian, thank you for sharing that, and please stay with us as we come back to you. Now we stay on